Hey, it's Kobe. It's time for another edition of Kobe's K9s, brought to you by the Dog Stop on West Broad Street. We are here at the Richmond SPCA with Jackie and a very unique and striking, as you say, animal and dog in Ulsan. But he has a very interesting story.
He does. So yes, he is very striking and he has my heart. He came to us probably in 2016. He was transferred from a different country, from Korea. He was one of the meat market dogs, got adopted and did really well in the home. Unfortunately, his owner had to get deployed, and so he ended up back with us. We are still trying to find that perfect match for him because he's kind of like a cat dog is what we call him.
Right.
He is very aloof. He wants the attention when he wants it, and he's very independent. So, you know, for him to kind of get into a family, they have to understand to give him enough time.
Right.
Yeah.
He almost has to adopt them a little bit.
He does. And what happens is you have to really have people understand that they got to give him time. It's all on his calendar and his timeline. Because if you rush him, then he ends up being a little bit dumb. Yeah, just give him a little bit more time. Come here. There you go. I just want him to make sure that he's okay.
Yeah.
And what you were just doing is exactly what people want to do. It's so hard not wanting to pet him.
Right.
But the idea with him is because he's sniffing you, it's not an invitation to touch him. It's just an invitation to say, hey, I need to find out who you are.
Okay.
Once he gets to know you, I mean, I can snuggle on him and I can pet him, and he's probably one of the only dogs that I will let him lick me.
Right.
Because I trust him implicitly.
Okay.
But he is just a cuddle bug.
Once he opens up to you.
Once he opens up to you. With him, you have to remember, I had years of history with him, and I was shocked that he even remembered me because I had not seen him. He got adopted, and 3 years later we found out he was coming back to us.
Okay.
And when I met him out in the parking lot, I was like, I don't know what he's going to do with me, and he remembered me like that. So it was really the impression, I guess, or the imprint I made on some of these dogs kind of stuck. So with him, it was an easy fill for me to fulfill, I guess, replace the owner to some degree.
Right.
So when I'm with him and I have people watch me with him, I like them to see how loving
He can be. Like the potential of what he have.
Yeah, and I want people to understand that you got to get there, you got to build that, you know, and if you don't have that right away, you got to give it time.
Don't be frustrated by it.
No. And so, you know, we work very closely hand in hand with the adopters. He is a multiple meat dog, which means you have to come in over and over. And honestly, the time I send him off, it's even just for like a day trip. But he has to be willing to like nudge on you and want you to touch him and do all that sort of stuff before I'll even say to you, go ahead and take him home. Let's go ahead. And I'll probably drop him off before I even, you know, have you take him in your car. Hi, buddy. Hi.
He is an amazing dog, and like we said, you know, we saw how close he is to you right now.
Yeah.
So it's there. He's capable of that.
He is.
It just takes a little bit longer for him to open up to his potential family.
It does. And he's, you know, we kind of single him out a little bit, but a lot of our shelter dogs need that kind of time, you know? They're not used to having sometimes the attention.
Extreme close-up.
Come here, you. Good job. Good job. He's really great. He follows me around. He loves food. He loves cheese and chicken. He knows, I know, you're going to scratch. He knows his sits. He knows to come to me. He knows to go to his place. Sit. No, sir. Go down. Go away. Drop down. There you go. Good job. He's great on leash. He's not great with other dogs. He'll pick and choose, but I'm going to say the majority of dogs he's not really keen on. And cats, you know, I have a cat at home. He was very interested in chasing the cat, scared the cat. Didn't do anything to the cat, but I would probably say just because of his chase drive, I would probably keep him as an only cat.
Right.
Loves to run. So if anybody's active and wants to go ahead and go on runs with him, he is quite the athlete.
So he's very lean, very athletic.
He's got no fat on him whatsoever. He's a little, as you can see, he's not quite sure what the red blanket is all about. He's kind of hesitant about going over there. Plays with toys really well. He's one dog that doesn't like to sleep in a dog bed. He likes the floor. He does like to sleep on the couch, which I don't encourage, but he's so darn special to me.
Right.
He's allowed on my furniture, but that's just, again, it's something that I do that I would talk to the owner about not doing right away.
Right.
So.
So obviously, maybe someone who's experienced, has had dogs before, and they know what it entails. They may not have a dog right now, but
Correct.
if they really want to make it worth it, Ulsan can be the dog for them.
I agree. I think with Ulsan, they need to be able to understand, again, that it is on his timeline.
Right.
And if they've had, some people have fearful dogs and they understand it. Him, I don't know what his timeline is with different people. He hasn't lasted that long. We had one gentleman who had taken him in, and it just wasn't the right fit, but we're hoping it was. So, I think invested time is going to be key. Not lowering expectations is definitely key, and just kind of let him figure it out so that you can figure him out.
Right.
If he feels like you're pushing him too hard or too fast, he is going to get suspicious because he's very, very curious and he's unsure. So you as his handler or me as my handler, as his handler, I can give him the assurance that he needs or the reassurance that he needs when he gets unsure. So if I'm walking and he's kind of sniffing at you and I can see he's just like, I'm sniffing, but I'm really not sure. But if I call him and say, it's okay, come on, let's go. He's like, okay, I'm saying it's okay, so it must be okay.
Right.
But if he doesn't know you, it's kind of hard.
Right.
It's like if I had spiders and you were afraid of them, and I was just, these are just cool spiders, and I'm like, go ahead, go touch one, and you're like, nah, I'm not quite sure. But then you have a buddy who says, look, I've trained this spider, and then you would say, well, he said it was okay. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of that thing.
Okay.
So
if someone is interested in learning more about Ulsan, they can come here and make an appointment, or not make an appointment, come here. Is it a little bit different with him since you want multiple visits?
Well, yes. So what we do is the way we go ahead and set it up is that our wonderful adoption team, they meet with people and they talk about Ulsan even before they meet him.
Okay.
Then they contact me and they bring me in and they just say, hey, we have this person who's interested. So I will then go downstairs and then we will do our first walkthrough with me.
Okay.
Because it just makes him more comfortable. If the walkthrough goes really well and they are willing to put in the time and effort and are more interested, then I'll just say come on back as many times as possible, even within the day.
Right.
Like if they can come back multiple times, that makes it kind of does him more familiar.
Yeah.
So the next time that they meet, it's not like stranger danger all over again.
Got it.
So I would say, and then after that we do like a home visit, and then we go ahead and we do an overnight, and then by the time we get to the overnight, if he's comfortable and they're comfortable, I kind of cut him loose a little bit because the more I'm involved, the more confusing it is for him.
Right.
So I don't want to do that to him. I don't, I don't want to jeopardize or jinx anything with him.
So there are a couple steps with him,
Yes.
but it'll be totally worth it because we saw how close and Khalid was with you.
Yeah.
So if you want to stop by and see Ulsan, he is here at the Richmond SPCA, as well as a handful of other dogs and cats looking for their forever home. We're here for you. Your help saving animals' lives. Over 64,000 in the last 20 years, and Ulsan can be next on the list. There you are. Like on cue. He knew exactly when to come. There he is.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. We'll do our best to get back to you, and we appreciate you watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Jackie.
Oh, you're welcome. My
And
pleasure.
thank you, Ulsan.
Yeah.